Notre Dame wins if. The game plan for Notre Dame, to me, it starts on defense. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess, during media days, it was very obvious. Notre Dame is making it very clear, hey, we're going to play man coverage. That's who we are. That's who we've been all season. We like our guys versus your guys. Let's roll. That has got to work. Like what I have written down here is the adhesive for Notre Dame and this whole game plan has got to hold, which is the man coverage. Because they're 57% man. They've gone out ahead of themselves, like I already mentioned, and told Ohio State they're going to play man. Now, here's what I would say. I don't think it'll be a thing where you walk out there and have a extremely clear picture as to what you're looking at if you're Will Howard. Like, I would expect Notre Dame to mix it up to some degree with that man coverage, even if they end up playing man coverage during that snap. I think they'll rotate safeties. I think they will try and disguise it a bit and try to keep Will Howard guessing. But at the end of the day, like, if you want to make this the physical, muddy game, like, you got to be able to keep Ohio State from having those 3-play drives that go 75 yards and end with a deep strike to Jeremiah Smith. Like, that cannot be the way that you get beat. So they've called their shot, both as from a personnel perspective, from a coaching perspective. Al Golden said as much. Like, they said we're going to play man. That has got to be a sticking point for them if they want to win this football game. On the flip side of that, everyone said the same thing about how Notre Dame would win this thing. It's got to be messy. It's got to be muddy. They got to drag them into the deep water. They got to make it an ugly, gross game. That's all true. But how would we know if this game gets gross and gets messy? The answer to me is time of possession. Okay, so Notre Dame has to definitively possess the football, extend drives, and find a way to keep Will Howard and Jeremiah Smith and the Monstars over there under Chip Kelly watching this football game more than they're playing this football game. All right, we're all aligned there. And to me, it doesn't even need to be a thing where Notre Dame lights up the box score when it comes to, the points and the yards. It's just got to be a thing of, can you extend some drives? Because even if you don't get points, just the fact that, one, you're eating clock and making this game shorter favors you. Also, in addition to that, if you can just have some punts that flip the field, I know it's kind of a boring thing to say, but if you can make Ohio State start on the 20 as opposed to the 40, that's massive. That's massive. And again, that gives you a chance here to hang around and, again, make it ugly, make it messy. If I'm Notre Dame, I'm just like, get this thing to the fourth quarter, dude. Get us to the fourth quarter, have it be a one-score game, whether it's us or them, and we like our chances. Their traits then have a chance, I believe, to show themselves when they get to that spot. Okay, so it has to be a thing where that works. We've talked about this all week long, too. The game plan for Notre Dame has got to be creative. It has to be. Because we talk about the talent gap, and that talent gap probably gets overblown a little bit because Notre Dame has some really freaking good players, regardless of what they were as recruits. They have developed into guys that I would say are like 5-star caliber, if you will. But even with that being said, like offensively, I think you need to find a way to get Ohio State guessing. Like, I need some trick plays. I need some movement. I need some creativity that results in some big explosive plays, whether it be in the run game or the pass game. And what that would do to Ohio State is just what I said. It keeps them guessing. Like, you ever had a prank pulled on you? Like, maybe someone, puts your stuff in Jell-O, shout out The Office. Maybe someone, I won't go into the other pranks that could be happening in your office place. But what that does to you is just it makes you question everything. Like, Ohio State, they're so good defensively because they trust their eyes, they're so well coached, and they trigger quickly. They play instinctual football because they're allowed to play instinctual football because they know what they're looking at. If Ohio State has to second guess at what they're looking at, it might not be a thing where Notre Dame ends up scoring 40 because they get Ohio State off balance, but Ohio State off balance gives you a chance. And quite frankly, you have a quarterback now, I think, that can give you a chance if you have them second guessing because he's got the ability to get on the perimeter and make something happen, because he's got some ability to hopefully, extend plays with his legs and go north and south in that situation and pick up key first downs. So all that's to say, it all centers around, can you get Notre Dame into a spot where they can have Ohio State playing just a half step slow? Doesn't have to be this defining factor where, again, that ends up being the reason why you blow Ohio State out of the building, but it does have to be a thing where you get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of belief, keeps you hanging around. That's all I need. That's all I needed from Notre Dame because, again, I think get it to the fourth quarter, and that's where your traits can show itself. That's the big part for Notre Dame that gets me excited about them in this spot. Like, I've given my prediction before on this game already, so we won't rehash that right now. But I have Notre Dame covering, all right? 8.5 points, the reason why I have them covering, because I think this team is so tough to figure out, and I think they are such a never-say-die operation, and they're going to find a way, I believe, to make this a game, at least in the fourth quarter or into the second half.